Hi beautiful people, welcome back. Hope everybody is doing fantastic wherever you are in this world. Hope everybody has had a great week so far. Can I just say something to you guys? My kids are not happy with me for the mere fact that, like I said to you guys, my kids are on spring break, and I thought this was the perfect opportunity to spring clean the house, change wardrobes up, pack away all the winter stuff coming into spring and summer. I was literally busy from probably 10 o'clock last night until 9 o'clock this morning, emptying out closets, taking all the clothes, and my goodness, it's just like, So they literally are not happy with me because I got them, because they're old enough now. So they can basically sort out their own closets. Whatever they don't need or don't wear anymore, put in a bag, off to Goodwill it goes. So I think they got done probably 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock this morning. And I tell you, I was having a good laugh because every 2 minutes or a minute, somebody came in my room, Mom, what should I do with this? I've never worn this. It doesn't fit me. And the more I try to explain to them, if it doesn't fit, no matter what it is, even if there's price tags on, just put it in the bag. It's all going to go to Goodwill. So eventually, I think it was, my dad actually called me probably 2 o'clock this morning, and we're having a conversation, and I was telling him, and my youngest says, she says, Grandpa, Mom has us doing all this work. So he says, and what's the problem? She says, it's not fair because it's spring break, we're supposed to be on vacation. So he was quite tickled at the fact that they're complaining that they got to clear out their closets or clean out their closets. But anyway, it was hilarious. So you guys, usual disclaimer, please don't take what I say as facts. Feel free to do your own research and come to your own conclusions. And also, I may be doing a whole lot of swearing in this video. KJ has gone way overboard, in my opinion, way overboard. Off the back, I just want to say and make a huge thank you to Mrs. Care for doing all this hard work and uploading these Instagram lives. I truly appreciate you. And because you guys know, the rest of us, we have lives, we have responsibilities, and unlike KJ, we don't have all the time in the world to sit on and sleuth through everybody's Instagram and all that shit. So KJ received an email from a survivor from the IBLP community, and it's not actually her story. She's actually telling the story of her fiance and the trauma that he's been through. So Katie decided to share this email with her audience on Instagram Live. But before she reads the email, this is what she says.
Because I'm going to be reading an email. And I don't know what I would do with this information. But I'm getting these emails from survivors. And I'm getting these messages from people that have pent up years of experiences in the IFB and with these churches and these pastors. And they're sending me these stories. And they're like, tell my story, but I'm scared. Share my story, but don't say anyone's names because I'm afraid that these people will retaliate. And I'm not going to share their names. I'm not going to say the church. I'm not going to say any of that.
So Katie goes on and she reads the email, and she basically talks about this youngster that has been going through all these hard times in his family, belonging to the IBLP community, all these traumas, but he's not telling the story. His fiance is actually telling the story. So she goes on to explain all what he's been through, the bad experiences he's had, all that kind of stuff, how she played a role in his life to get him to actually report what's been going on. And then in true Katie fashion, what does she do? She calls out his name. And the thing that was truly working on my last nerve is the fact that Katie tried so hard to be emotional or to get the relevant emotions out, but she just couldn't. That's in my opinion. That's just the way I saw it. So after everything was said and done, as I'm making this video, KJ came out with an excuse or her explanation of doxing this kid. And I'm saying this kid because he was a kid. He was 17 years old at the time. you know. So this is what she said on her Instagram live.
Last night I shared a video, or I shared a story about a boy in Kentucky and his story of being an abuse survivor at a Baptist church. And some of you guys were concerned that I said his name, but I have his permission to say his name. I actually spoke to his girlfriend after the video, after I did the live stream, and we're just going to decide what we're going to do next, because she's okay with me releasing the church name, but I'm kind of apprehensive because she doesn't want me, she wants me to like not have the name and a title and this and that, and she doesn't want the church to get bombarded with hate. And I kind of feel like if you put that kind of allegation out, the church is going to get hate. So I'm going to kind of tempt that out, feel what's going on. But the gentleman in this case has given me permission to say his name. So I said it last night. No, there was no doxing. People are always trying to accuse me of doxing.
They came to the agreement that it's okay for them to discuss or say his name, but they're not going to discuss the church because of the backlash. Isn't that Katie's main focus when covering these fundamentalists, is for them to be outed, for attention to be brought to them? So now why is it so important that she's going to safeguard this church? That is just my opinion on that. And then secondly, they're trying to figure out what to do next. So if all these hundreds of people and all these people are coming forward and telling Katie about their story, and she's done nothing, she's not helped anybody, she's never pushed them in the right direction. So in my opinion, for Katie, it's like, okay, give me your story so I can go put it out there, profit off of it, and okay, you're on your own now. That's just the way I see it. Then she goes into answering her lives, and she's asking her followers to stop spamming the FBI, and that she's not going to call the FBI.
And I'm not going to call the FBI right now. First of all, I don't know where they're located. Second of all, I need to figure things out. So please stop spamming and telling me to call the FBI.
So for me, with Katie, I have a huge problem. She tends to wear the badge of honor that she's an advocate, you know, for kids, for these women, for... Katie's not advocate, like I've said before, in my opinion. She's an advocate for herself and for her bank account. Period. End of story, in my opinion. And also she says that these people are hard to find. Really, Katie? Just the other day, Truth was making a video about how Katie doxes people. Katie actually doxed the Duggars when he apparently bought a new church or bought new premises for a church, something to that effect. KJ went and put all that information on her Instagram. And what surprised me was when Truth actually made mention of one of her followers actually stating that she's going to take a drive past that church and take pictures.
Anyway, going back to where she doxed someone else that she covers, she did double down and doxed the Duggars for a property that they just purchased. She did not cross out the address whatsoever, but she said this in her caption. Jim Bob Duggar apparently bought this theater in Branson, Missouri last year as a tax write-off. He's maybe going to sell it in a few years. He allegedly likes to buy properties to write off. Right now, the theater is showing videos on history and gospel music performances. Now, the person that brought this to light is from the Twitter account for the woacb subreddit, and I responded to their tweet pointing out some tweet that I had noticed where KJ had some hidden comments, so I clicked on it and saw the only sane comment there, which says this. I think he's gross, but it sounds like he's just utilizing the tax laws to his advantage, which is not illegal. And they replied back and told me that it's even worse because while she did hide that person's polite comment, she left this comment up instead. It says, I'll go tomorrow and take some pics and see what's up. Meaning this is one of KJ's fans and she's going to actually drive to this house and take photos, which is absolutely freaking creepy.
Oh, Katie always calls everybody trolls. I just want to make mention the fact that Katie's trolls are such nice people. They truly are such nice people. Because Katie's trolls will go on there and ask her, you know, basically to do the right things. And like with this Instagram live, everybody was saying, call the FBI, go to the FBI. She basically told them, look, I can't go. She needs to first figure things out, and that these people are hard to find, okay? Katie, when you're dealing with the FBI, you know this, you're dealing with the FBI right now. I'm not saying you're on investigation, but you know, as you said, with all your threats you're getting, you just send it off to the FBI. So they do the groundwork. They'll find these people with no problem, you know, so don't make excuses. And another thing is, as I say, her trolls are so nice. They like, please don't do what you're doing, put these people out there like that, or call the FBI, or Katie, just do the right thing. opposed to everybody else that gets trolled in their lives. And I'm talking about the Katie Joy community that reports on her. You guys, if you got to see the lives or the trolls that are in these people's lives, they are vile, they are vicious, they are, would I use the word frightening? Yeah, probably. It's like, how come it's for them and not for KJ? It's just so weird. Also, another thing she brings to the table is that she is a survivor herself, and so being a survivor, okay, you know what you had to overcome. Now, in regard to the survivor situation, remember when you had your victory video? You went on and you were so upset and so angry at the video that EKC People Suck had done about your trauma. And bear in mind, you said how it brought everything up. It put you in a bad mind space. And I get that. I truly get that. But you were saying that because if you go and watch that video, it wasn't even what you depicting it to be. When I watched that video, after you mentioned it, okay, they were truly trying to get to the bottom of how you said that this police department did you a huge injustice. So they were going off on the police department or the detectives side of it. Did he do his job right? There were not one time questioning your trauma. But you had to put it that way to your audience to make it fit your storyline, to make people feel bad for you. Katie, if you want to be a true advocate, not an advocate for your bank account or an advocate for just trying to get to the top, in my opinion, why don't you truly help these people? You know, lead them in the right direction. Don't just use their story for your monetary gain and then just throw them to the curb. Because honestly speaking, that's the way it seems to me, in my opinion. You ask people to share their story, that you'll be their voice. You'll be the voice for the voiceless. And you'll be the one to tell their story. KJ, have you seen the way you tell stories? You tell stories with such hatred, with such malice. It's actually, I've seen people tell stories in regard to the Duggars. And in my personal opinion, you take it overboard. You truly take it overboard. It truly seems as though you have such a deep embedded hatred for this community that it's actually sad. And with me personally now, it's no more the fact that something needs to happen to these Duggars. Katie, this is just me, and this I truly, it saddens me to say this, but you are just so disgusting. Because from what I see, you've basically built your audience on the Duggar kids' pain, their trauma, but all these fundamentalists that you talk about, Katie. You go on and you shred them to bits. If you so much say that you want these women to know that they can have their own mind frame, they can have their own way of thinking, they don't have to do what their husbands tell them to do. But by golly, Katie, you degrade them, you mock them, you humiliate them. At this point, I truly feel sorry for them. I'm not talking about the mother, the father, and the brother Josh. No, don't get me wrong. I'm talking about these women that you go after. You sitting in the comfort of your home, because now clearly everybody has a small house. You always make mention of people's homes. And you're saying that you are so heartbroken, you're disgusted, you're outraged. You know what I'm disgusted about? That you would take people's stories and exploit their stories for your monetary gain. That is sick. That is fucked up. Honestly, that is. Because can anybody please tell me, Has Katie helped anybody? I'm talking about literally help them get out of this community in the right direction, on their own, and to a better life. Because clearly, Katie does not want to report these people to the appropriate authorities, because that will take away from her bank account. That will take away from her views. Because that's all she uses these people's stories for, is to gain. That's how she's built her audience. Then she says she's not going to talk about the Duggars, but then she goes after the Duggars. And this is the sad part about it, okay? She goes and she finds an article, I'm talking about a few years back, where it detailed the trauma of the Duggar sisters. And what does Katie go and do? She goes and she reads this article about what Josh had done to his sisters. So as Katie says, she is a survivor. She did not like what Aaron did to her. Why did she do the same thing to these Duggar sisters? Because she has no fucking dignity. That's what it is, period. She doesn't give a shit about the next person's feelings. She doesn't give a shit about the next person's situation. All Katie cares about is herself. She went on and she said that Joanna and Jessa are abusers. They have turned into abusers. Really, Katie? You don't like it when people come at your parenting. You're saying that they are abusing their kids. Wow. Then she moves into Joel Rodriguez. Personally, I don't know who the hell this Joel Rodriguez is. And I'm not going to feed into Katie Joy's negativity and go and search these people up and start hating on these people. That is unacceptable. She says that Joel Rodriguez is starving her kids, whereas Joel and her husband are very well fed. You can see because they are of a certain weight. And she said that Joel's daughter literally looks like she has liver damage and jaundice. Wow, Katie. Wow. And this is the, for me, the fucked up part about this whole situation. You guys have followers. Blow so much fucking smoke up her ass. It's unbelievable. They thank her for speaking up for the voiceless. Katie is not speaking up for the voiceless. Katie is speaking up for a fucking bank account. Period, in my opinion. And when are people going to start seeing this? When? She's speaking up for no voiceless person. She's exploiting these people. Because honestly speaking, in retrospect, if me myself, and I'm going to speak on my behalf, okay? If I should get an email like this, what's the first thing am I going to do? I'm going to try to reach out to these people or whatever and find out how I can be of help before fucking switching on that camera, recording the shit and putting these people, exploiting these people and putting their business out there. That's what a decent person would do. You are making money off these people's trauma without even fucking helping them. Behind the scenes, reaching out to them to find out, is there any way you can help? No. You feel by telling their stories, you're helping them. In my opinion, you're doing more harm than good. Because I can only imagine from what you say about these independent fundamentalist groups, whatever the fuck they are, it makes you think. Don't you think they have people scouring the internet, finding out what is going on? Especially you that go so hard and so deep on these people. Don't you think they got people watching, looking at who's speaking and sorting them out? Because honestly speaking, it wouldn't be very hard to track these people down, especially when you named the guy in your story, that email that you just read. You named him in Kentucky somewhere. These people are not hard to find. Absolutely not, in my opinion. In my opinion, you lie to your audience. You lead them on. You misinform them. That's why your channel is growing, in my opinion, Katie. because you have all these negative people. You have all these people that have that dislike for them. They get off on what you tell them, the negativity you spread. That's just my opinion. I don't understand Katie, because I know hurt people, that I get. But also, in my opinion, Katie has no dignity. And she needs to realize that humility is the ability to give up your pride and still have dignity, which in my opinion, Katie does not have any dignity. And also another thing is that gratitude is the most simple way to create euphoria, love, happiness, and it's not hard, people. It's not hard to be understanding, to just sit back and think about the next person or have that compassion or empathy. It's not hard. Yes, it may take you time to get to that point of where do I draw the line, you know? But in Katie's situation, it's just fucked up that, in my opinion, all she gives a fucking damn about is her bank account and her subscriber counts and the numbers. That's all she gives a damn about, because she's not helping anybody. In my opinion, she truly is not. She's always quick to fight or start a drama. Or it's all about her fucking self. That's all it's about. And my heart truly goes out to these people that are reaching out to her. Because, in my opinion, and we've seen this over and over and over again, Katie will throw a person under the bus in a blink of an eye and not even think twice about it. So if shit does hit the fan and all this does come to pass, what is she going to do? Huh? If people start suing and sending people cease and desist, what is Katie going to do? Oh, it wasn't me. I was just telling the story. But in the interim, I was making money off of it. Just saying. We've seen this with Tati. She's back into doing the deep dives. She is 100% convinced that the Duggars will not sue her or not come after her. I would watch my words, Katie. I truly would watch my words. Katie, in my opinion, cannot humble herself. So you guys, that's it from me. Hope you guys have a wonderful evening. Have a wonderful rest of your week. Please be kind to one another, and please don't forget to wear your mask. So you guys, until the next one, have a good one. Bye, guys.